Yeah, I mean, there's always, and it's almost like I kind of skipped all the little stuff and I went right to death. I've cremated, like I was telling you just, I've cremated over 1,000 bodies. I've helped prepare bodies. I've taken bodies out of the ground and I've done all that. I've been around all that stuff.
Didn't you do a little bit of ghost hunting too?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Tell us a little bit about your ghost
Wow,
hunting.
I forgot about that, man. Holy shit. I forgot about that. I was so intrigued. There was a time when I was studying religion. There was a time when I was just freaking out on stuff and I was saying, wait, how can this be? I've never been a religious person, but I believe in a bigger thing than us. I mean, we're not, we're just ants, we're just here for a little bit. So I've always believed in a higher being, but when I started doing all that research, I was like, is there another side? Is there ghosts? Is there this? So I decided to join a paranormal group.
Yeah.
And we did a few cases, and I did that for about 2-3 years, and that's when I was working at the cemetery and stuff. And I was like, I want to volunteer for everything. I go, whatever you need me to do. We actually did some stuff at homes here in San Antonio too, because people would say that they saw this.
Really?
Yeah, and we would set up the cameras. We did the Foss Hotel in New Braunfels. We did Yorktown Hospital. In Yorktown, it's haunted. And I was the one volunteering for all that, and not in an arrogant way, in a way that I was searching.
You're just curious.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to feel something. I want to anything to get me to that other side, man. Some kind of connection, or let me feel it.
What's the scariest place you went to?
What did I feel? What did I? I guess the experience I remember during that era was they laid me down on a gurney where that hospital closed because too many people died. So there was where this doctor would operate, babies died there, whatever. So I laid down there, and they set up the cameras. They did all that stuff. So I had a mic or earpiece on, and what these guys did, there was a long hallway, so they put two lights like this, to where something passed in front of it, you'd see you could see you have a light that you pass in front of it that you're gonna see. So at the same time I heard some steps, they paged me. And they went, whoa. They were telling me what to repeat, the names of the people that died, that if you need to communicate, I was saying, do it through me, come in, all that, BS. And the thing that gave me a little bit of chills was when I was speaking, I heard steps.
Yeah.
It was the same time that these guys that were way on the other side went, hey, whoa.
Something. Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. Whoa, hold on. What's going on here? Not supposed to be real.
Right.
It's not supposed to happen. What the hell? So that was it. That was one of the few times that I remember kind of like, oh shit. But that was the only time, all the other times, we would go to all these different places. There's a video of me on YouTube, I think, where I'm coming up the stairs with some kind of sensor. And the person that's recording, you hear in the background somebody say, help me. In that fucking tone, help me. So when it comes to the paranormal stuff, the work is not done. You're doing all this stuff, but then it's almost the editing. You put your headphones on and you're just sitting there to see. You see things. You see throughout the videos. You're okay. Did y'all hear that? Did you feel that? Did you see that? Do you feel this vibe? Do you So that was interesting, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But I stopped doing it. It was kind of a phase that it was one of those things. That way I say new stuff.
Yeah.
Finding something that keeps you alive, man. Gives you energy. Something you like to do.
What do you think about death? I mean, you have a soul, right?
Mm.
And we're just like a frequency. They say where energy can't be created or destroyed. So what happens to that soul when your body dies?
I've been around death. I'm real comfortable around it. I've and the more you look into the universe and the galaxies and where we come from and all that stuff. I studied a lot of different religions at the time, and one of the ones that I found most calming was the Hindu culture. And when you look into that, at least from my standpoint, it seems like there's something more. There's something later. You know, where we're at right now, to me, is just something temporary, something that our soul, our spirit, our energy, our vibe is, it's just here for a little bit. You know, there's something more after that, and I really believe that. I really feel it. I really feel that what we're doing here right now is just a little phase in our life. You know, it's funny. I tell everybody, you know, you're gonna be dead a lot longer than you're alive.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Pretty
kind
much,
of
yeah.
you'll be physically dead, you know, a lot longer than you're alive. But you know, I think with all the reading I've done and all the studying, you know, and the experiences that I've had in the death industry and all that, you know, I think my thing is, I really feel like this is just something that we're just passing through right now. It's not the end. Death is not the end. It can't
Not
be.
the end. Yeah.
Nah, I don't. It doesn't feel like it. And that's coming from somebody who's cremated over 1,000 bodies, who's been in the death industry, who's been in the same room, you know, preparing bodies, and you know, who's done a lot of traveling, who's done the paranormal stuff, you know, all that craziness, you know. And I really believe that what we're going through right now,
But that is pretty crazy, right? Let's say you do die and you're just a spirit floating around, but they just can't see you because you're in a different frequency. You know, it's like.
You know, the shitty part is that, you know, and I laugh about this. You know, the shitty part would be if you're able to see everything. You know, you're still able to. I hope you don't. You know,
Right.
No, I don't want to. I don't want it to be that way. You know,
Right.
I'd like to just think that, you know, you just move on.
Yeah.
You know, you just keep going to the next thing. That's, you know, we're so small. I mean, when you study the galaxies and the Earth and the sun and the stars, and take a look at that.
It's hard not. I mean, when you see it that way, it's hard not to believe there's another planet out there with life. You know, it's like, no, we're the only one. No, man, have you seen how vast the universe is? You know, it's just like
We're tiny.
yeah,
We're tiny. I mean, we're very little. We're you know, some people like to walk around like, you know, they could change the world, and they could do this and do that, and like, hey, just enjoy it, man. Just, you'll be all right. Just spend time with the people closest to you and your loved ones. And
yeah, because life is a miracle, man. What is it? It's a miracle that a person gets to have life. You know, like through the process of, you know, the process.
yeah. Well, the fact that two people get to meet, any two people in this galaxy, in this world, the fact that two people cross paths is amazing to me. Because of all the people that you could come across,
Yeah.
you come across certain people. The fact that that person was chosen to be in your life is pretty special to me. You know, and you got to just, you know, enjoy the people that are around you. Because when you think about the world, you don't realize that this is your world.
Yeah.
You know, that's not your world. This is your world. You know, so it's pretty. It's a way of finding peace within yourself. You know, when you have all the madness. You know, I think what's helped me is seeing how fast life disappears. Being able to cremate, you know, all these bodies, and within 2 hours somebody's just disappeared.
Yeah.
Experience that and see that, and I think you have a different view on life.
What are 3 books that greatly influenced your life?
Oh man, 3 books. Okay, well I read, what is it, Menkav from Hitler. I read The Discoveries, and I've read a book, The History of the World.
History of the world.
The History of the World, and those 3, and that's besides the Bible. You know, I enjoy reading the Bible. I enjoy studying. You know, if a book like that has influenced so many people, I want to know about it. You know, so I own about 30 Bibles. One of them dating back to the 1823. It's a big old leather thing. You know, it's when there was marriage licenses in there. They were passed from family to family. There's history on there where one family passed it on to the other. So and so passed away. You know, so all those books have really given me the view on things, and they've helped me. I've also studied David R. Hawkins, the different levels of consciousness. You know, that's all. That had probably one of the big influences on me.
Yeah, which is that one?
It's David R. Hawkins, and he kind of explains the different levels of consciousness, and it's nice, a study that he did, because you're able to see where your consciousness is at. which nobody pays attention to, you know, and that had a big influence on me, only because as I'm reading the different levels, you get to see where you're at. And only you know, because it tells you, you know, where you're at, and you read that, and it's almost you get to the first couple of steps that you understand, then you get to a point where you don't understand what it means, because you haven't reached there yet.
Okay. Have you ever heard of that? Probably have Abraham Maslow's pyramid of needs. Is that like similar to it? Have you heard?
I've never studied that. Okay. No. So it's something similar.
Well, it sounds like it's something similar. He has this pyramid where, you know, it's more like psychology though, where you have needs, and way at the top is like self-actualization, where way in the bottom is like the basic needs: food, water, you know, air. But then you start going up,
and you start, Well, the level of consciousness, you know, the lowest level, and they go by points, you know, and one of the lowest level is self guilt and shame, and that's because it tells you where your consciousness, then it tells you the feeling.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
that's you know, you're at that level where the feeling is suicidal, and it climbs all the way to love at the very top, and only few people reach true love. But there's a scale there.
Yeah.
There's a climb there, you know, and being able to understand that and moving from one step to another is nice.
So you're able to identify, this is where I'm at. I'm at the ego stage right here.
Right? A lot of people get stuck on the ego, you know, that's oh man, having the ego is such a I can't cuss here, but you know, man.
No, you can cuss, man.
The ego is such a prick, you know.
Yeah.
That ego is, oh man. Put your ego aside and you'll see how much that changes your view on things.
Yeah.
But the ego just is an asshole. We all have it too. Putting that aside is very difficult. You know, it's very difficult. Especially for me, it was difficult because of the sport I'm in, and because of, as a young age, you know, your ego is everything you got. That's how you become successful.
Yeah.
You know?
It pushes you only so far until you hit that part. Is like, where am I go from here? Then you have to let it go. It's like,
what's next?
Yeah.
It's not. I already reached everything I could with this big ego I have, and now there's some growing up to do.
Yeah. And you're barely right. What is it? Right at the middle of the scale. What is it?
Yeah.
You still got
right
ways
to
go.
Yeah, you're still at the 500s and 400s. You know.